Welcome, everyone. I'm going to call the meeting to order at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
Agenda review and disposition. Is there anything?
Just the August meeting date.
Okay. Perfect. All right, so before I open up the minute and we get started, this is Tanya and Kelly's last meeting on the school board for Plymouth Elementary School. So I just wanted to say thank you on behalf of the board for everything that you've done for the school. I got you some flowers.
Thank you. Thank
So
you.
you can decorate them at your yard. And we ordered you some bells as well.
Oh,
And they're coming in.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I wanted to personally recognize and say thank you very much for all that you've done. I didn't ask for it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you all.
Yeah. So, thank you very much. It's good to be here. So thank you. All
Out
right.
of a big crowd tonight.
We're here. That's all that matters. Minutes of May 5th. Did everybody get a chance to read the minutes? Does anyone have any questions?
I have a suggestion. It says Principal Orlando recommended budgeting for 3 kindergarten homerooms for 1 year, but maybe rewording it to say adding 1 kindergarten teacher for 1 year, bringing up to a total of 3 next year. Just that the recommendation was really adding the 1.
That is good.
Yeah.
Nice job.
It's
The first
under
one.
the principal's report, second line of the second paragraph.
Okay. Jenny, can we make that change? Perfect. Thank you. Great suggestion, Jess. Thank you very much. Someone like to approve the minutes with that suggested change? Or make a motion to approve?
I make a motion with it, okay.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Perfect, thank you. All right, we're turning it over to Tanya.
Okay.
Principal.
Final principals
Yes.
report. Can I ask you to do me a favor? Can you distribute those packets to everyone? And actually, I'll take one packet. It's all 3. Yep. Okay. So current enrollment is holding steady at 385, and coming around to everyone at this moment is a document that previews next year's enrollment and the teaching assignments and all of the new staff. So this is a document that the staff have already received. Stacy Therian will remain in preschool. We will have Robin Morse and Courtney Wayland in kindergarten, and you authorized a new kindergarten teacher, as we just discussed. That person will be nominated tonight in non-public. In first grade, we will have Rob Cushing and Jacqueline Reed. In second grade, we will have Michelle Apriliano and Alyssa Greenler and Leanne Stokey. In third grade, we will have Sarah Carlson, Emily Gove, and Angela Kennison-Como. In fourth grade, we will have Kim King and Christine Sterner. Fifth grade will be Kate Smars and Scott Southworth, with Sarah Sanborn split between fifth grade and sixth grade. She will teach science and social studies in fifth grade. In sixth grade, we have a team of people. Really, the whole middle school at this point moving forward is a middle school team instead of a grade level team. Sixth grade will have Katie Chamberlain, Nancy Stock, and Jen Weatherby for homeroom, and then Sarah Sanborn and Paula Tanner, each for the subject areas listed there. Sarah for science and Paula Tanner for some reading and writing. In seventh grade, we'll have Mark McGlone, Sydney Strang, Andy McDonald, Jen Weatherby, and Kevin Greenler. So Kevin will be teaching 1 section of math, Mark will be teaching 2 sections of math, and new next year, Mark will be teaching some first aid. In 8th grade, it will be Kevin Greenler, Paula Tanner, Andy McDonald, and Jen Weatherby. You'll see on the left 2 columns, if there is a grade level and initials, and then a number of students, that is the teacher who is teaching, has a homeroom for that grade level. And you'll notice the class size ranges, I believe, from 15 up to 13 to 20. So our three second grades do have 13 kids in them, but that is our smallest class. Most of the classes have 16 in them, in each homeroom or traveling group. The new administrative team is written there. And then on the right-hand side, we have the unified arts teachers and some new staff people who I believe all of that is public at this time. Am I correct? So new to us in 4th and 5th grade for special education is Lisbeth Rosner. So we're excited to have her join the team here. And new in pre-K speech will be Mary Pat Fitzmaurice. Kat Labrie is going to move up to be the K-8 speech and language pathologist, and Mary Pat will take on that pre-K role. The new school psychologist, Corey Nicole Parsons, is listed down in the student support section. And just today, we interviewed a new student assistant program coordinator. So as you can see, we are getting to be fully staffed here. On the back side, it does list para-educators and some of the different office phone numbers, SAU staff, the rec department, and the parks department. So Jenny and I worked hard to make this document be more complete and all in one place. So rather than having 3 different documents that has phones and number of kids in a classroom and then teaching assignment, it's all in one place and it's a reference for you moving forward.
What was the position that you said you were just about to interview for?
This morning, we interviewed someone for a grant-funded position and the position is called the Student Assistance Program Coordinator.
Which is something that we already have.
We have
all
someone,
grant
it's
from-
all grant funded, and we have assurance that the funding will be here for next year. It's our partnership with ADAPT.
Can you just give me an overview of what that person does?
Prevention work, drug and alcohol prevention work, and engagement with kiddos. So a little outdoor leadership, a little alternative activities, programming, a little bit of counseling.
PRHS, the WILD program.
Yep, it works with PRHS staff a little bit around WILD, so.
Excellent, thank you.
Certified?
Not certified teachers, through the course of their employment, they get trained in Project Success, which is a prevention, evidence-based prevention program, as well as some ongoing other training. The person we interviewed today is wilderness first aid certified and lifeguard certified, because there's a lot of wilderness and outdoor activity expected with it.
Thank you.
And
Yes.
it runs during just the school day?
No, it is 9 to 5. It's not clearly, it's either 7 to 3 some days or 9 to 5. So we sort of make the hours work for when the kids are available. And it turns out in this school that 7:30 to 9:30 a.m. is one of the times that kids are actually available to do some of this work. And then after school as well. And we're really pleased to partner with ADAPT on that. Okay, I'm going to wait on the rest of that packet until a little bit farther in the principal's report. Kindergarten Connections occurred and was fantastic. We have 43 anticipated kindergartners at this time. 44 actually, I think. And last week we had the grade 4 and 5 and then the 6 through 8 concerts. So thank you to Jill Perkins for accompanying the singers and the band, well, the singers on the piano. And thank you to Jake Stevens. It was just an excellent selection of music and a phenomenal night. They go off to the Great East Music Fest Thursday. And we're hoping for some awards for our kids because they sound so good. SAS testing is complete. That's the New Hampshire statewide testing, and I did create for you a little overview of how we did on the SAS this year. You'll notice that the top of this is summative for the whole building, okay? I'm going to orient your eyes to it. okay? The first box is math, the second box is ELA, and the third box is science, okay? So that is all students who tested grades 3 through 8 in each of those subject areas, except in science, only grades 5 and 8 test, okay? And then down below, it's a grade level breakout for you to give you just an overview of how those grade levels performed on those assessments. I would like to commend the work of the teachers. In 2022, this building, we were 56% proficient on ELA, and we have moved up to 62% proficient, and that is really incredible growth. I know that it seems like a very small percentage, but with the number of kids that we're working on, that what we really just want to see is steady growth. We've made a huge investment in ELA. I expect to be above the state average in all 3 of those areas. And you know, we clearly do have some work to do, but we continue to do that work with passion and expertise.
What is the state average?
They haven't come out with the state averages yet.
And doesn't second grade do it too?
No.
No.
No. I think it's worth noting too, you know, we do not present to you specific student information. That would be inappropriate. What I want you to know is that I have dug in very deeply to student data, and just the individual growth we're seeing for kiddos is very clear. And for some of our cohorts of most at-risk kiddos or kids who've struggled previously, this year we saw really substantial gains. So we're very pleased with that. The ELA is a combination of reading and writing, so there are 2 parts to the SAS ELA test. Our kids did better on the writing. Our new Wit and Wisdom program really does focus on writing, and we've and teaching how, not just a lot of writing, but actually teaching the conventions and the process of writing and editing, and what a sentence should contain, and what a paragraph is, and how to put in quotation marks and all of those things. This program really teaches that, and we can see the growth because of that. So really pleased with that, because I think being able to write is a sign of being able to communicate and think. So proud of that work. Continuing on, last week we had the police appreciation drive-through event here. It was fantastic and phenomenal. We had many, many kids, probably 200 kids outside the superintendent's office there, and easily, I don't know, 20 cars probably, what do you think, 25 cars of area police officers. So everyone from Moulton Borough to Campton, Rumney, Plymouth, Holderness. So it's a really nice way to support our police officers and state police as well. In events that are coming up, June 4th, Wednesday night of this week, is our Gathering of Gratitude, and the Common Man is again providing our community food for that night, free of charge. So please come out to celebrate the learning and the students and the teachers at Plymouth Elementary School.
Time to 7.
5 to 7. And really 5 to 7:30, but yes, 5 to 7. People stay. It ends up being quite a night. Also on Wednesday and Thursday is the Scholastic Book Fair. On Thursday is the great, as I said, the Great East Music Fest. Middle school band and chorus will have a juried performance, and then spend some time at Canopy Amusement Park. Thank you to Pam Martin for writing the grant to make that happen. Takes support, and it's supporting the bulk of the cost of that trip.
Nice.
So Pam writes grants for so many things in this building, and we really appreciate her work. There are lots and lots of end-of-the-year field trips, and I'm not even going to try to name them all. Whale's Tail, Polar Caves, Plymouth Airport, Montshire, Wellington, Elacoya, that's just to name a few. So June 5th, this Friday, is our last day of, it's not Friday. That is Thursday, is the last day of the afternoon Ask program, which is another grant that Pam writes for us that's funded through title monies. So that afternoon program ends this week. June 6th, there's a Plymouth PD and Fire Department kickball game at 5 p.m. Please come out to spend some time with the first responders. Next week on Monday and Tuesday, the 8th grade will take their annual trip up to Montreal with the 8th grade teachers and some other adults to supervise that trip. So that's next week. They'll be allowed to come in late on Wednesday, June 11th, 10 a.m. start. Then on Thursday, the 8th grade is going to go up to Lonesome Lake. So they start the year at Lonesome Lake and they come back around, and at the end of the year, they'll be going up to Lonesome Lake to run full circle and celebrate the end of the year. Friday, June 13th is the last day of morning Ask. So our morning program, we go really as long into the year as we possibly can. Try to give families that as much time as we possibly can with that. Friday, June 13th is 8th grade graduation at 6 p.m. And Tuesday, June 17th is our official last day of school. It will be a half day. We'll be out at noon. I have a couple of other things I just need to let the board know. One of the things we have to do annually is letting you know about bullying reports. And I want to let you know that we received 3 official bullying complaints, and one was founded, one was unfounded, and one is an ongoing investigation at this time.
That's fairly new legislation that you have to report that out at the end of each year.
Couple more things. The CARE Award winners has not been announced yet, so I'm not going to do that tonight, so just so you know. Want to let you know that PTA is not meeting this week on Wednesday night. They're meeting next week because we have Gathering of Gratitude this week. So Wednesday the 11th at 6:30 will be the last PTA meeting of the year. And I did want to take a moment just to give you a facilities update for the summer, because that's this time of year an important thing to just update you about. We will be nominating a second shift custodian and some summer help during non-public tonight, so that's good news for John Cormia and his crew. For summer projects, the middle school science room will be completed with the capital improvement funds that were authorized in the March meeting. The storage area in the boys' locker room is being converted to an office for the assistant to the principal, and that will be we'll be using end of the year funds to make that happen. The extender is finally going to be installed, which allows the walkie-talkies to actually work in the lower level of the building, and that is through operating budget of this year's operating budget that is being done in June. Hopefully June, maybe July. Paving the section of Old Ward Bridge Road that PES owns, and the sidewalk on the backside of the gymnasium will get done, and that is through EOY funds from this 24-25 school year.
We're waiting on,
So the town may be delaying that rotary project due to something with the water sewer district. As soon as the water sewer district clears their responsibility, the town will start with that rotary project, and we're hoping that they wait until the work is done before they install, before they do this new paving work.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Details that I didn't.
That'll happen at once the weather breaks next spring.
Okay.
So you guys are also, what you committed is also.
There's some drainage that we're going to clean up on the primary playground and the lower lot, and that's again end of the year funds. The roof drains are going to be repaired this summer through operating budget. The gym, the doors in the gymnasium are going to be repaired or replaced, and that's through capital improvement funds. The floor will be refinished again through operating budget, which we do every summer, just not just polished, screened and refinished. A little bit of painting in the building, not a whole lot, incidental basically, and then as always the summer cleaning will happen throughout the whole building, and that's quite an undertaking for the whole crew. The extended school year will be in the lower part of the north wing and the south wing, and staff will be allowed into the building this second week of August, and Linda Green will let them know when the actual date is that they're allowed back into the building. We really need to get the cleaning done before folks come back into the building. And I think that's it. I wanted to take a moment to thank everyone for the privilege for working with them, working for the town of Plymouth and the students in this community. I love this school and have loved working with everyone. Colleagues have been partners, educators, the para-educators, the custodians, the grounds crew, the rec department, and the SAU. So thank you to everyone and the board.
Are you going to show your video?
Oh, yes. Thank you, Kyla. So, one of the things we've been working on this school year is a highlight video about what Plymouth Elementary School represents, what we are. We have an amazing paraeducator here named Andy Hamill. Oh, I gotta pause for 1 minute. I couldn't do my job without Jenny Lee, so I wasn't gonna shout out anyone individually, but Jenny, you are amazing, and it's a privilege to work with you. Okay, so this is the video, and do you think it's gonna transfer pretty well for you? Okay.
It's up there, it's showing up.
Good morning, look at you smiling, shining, beaming like the sunshine, rising, climbing, grinding through the hard times, growing, showing, up like you're a star. No matter where you're standing, I hope you know you are, hope you know you are worthy of that smile on your face. Know you're worthy, keep on growing in your grace. Worthy, so take up all that space. So go ahead and clap your hands, you're worthy of it all. Look at your patience, waiting for the good time. Facing, judging, even let your mind out. If they don't see it, you can let them know. When they try to keep you, don't let yourself get down. Better know you are. Hope you know you. Hope you know you. Shining, beaming like the sunshine, rising, climbing, grinding through the hard times, growing, showing, up like you're a star. No matter where you're standing, I hope you know you are, hope you know you are worthy of that smile on your face. Worthy, keep on growing in your grace. Worthy, to take up all that space. So go ahead and clap your hands, you're worthy of it all.
Welcome to the Plymouth Elementary School Spelling Bee.
That was great.
So we're not quite done. We'll show graduation and a couple more gathering of gratitude in the last couple of seconds of the movie, but that's a pretty fantastic representation about what happens in this building. So.
Was Greg doing that?
So Andy Hamill is a paraeducator here. He is retired from working at Dartmouth Hitchcock, where he created all of their videos for both education and publicity. And I asked him if he would do this. And he said absolutely. He's also done one for the 8th grade hike, so that the 8th graders, as they come and they learn about that trip, the fall of 8th grade, have more of a picture of what that trip looks like. And he's recorded our concerts and our play and the sports. So he's done a number of videos for us. They're
It's
really
great for positive messaging. You know,
It
to
is.
showcase the school. People are always asking, you know, what's going
Sure.
on, so.
It's a great reminder of why we do what we do.
yes, yes, and really why we do it too.
Yeah.
Yep. Those faces. Yes. So that is what I have. Except the last thing I included in the packet for you is an index. I wanted to let you know that we are putting together a binder full of lots and nuts and bolts for the new leadership team, all in one place. It will be both in paper and digitally for them. We're not going anywhere. We will answer phone calls, but we're trying to leave as much information as possible.
And we have copies as well.
Yes, yep, yeah. And there's
All right.
Kelly.
And again, thank you to each and every one of you. I'll say that now before I get going into my report. Greatly appreciate it. It's been 12 years here at Plymouth Elementary.
Wow.
And it doesn't seem that long, right? It goes by quickly, and always enjoyed, and as you can see through the video, a lot of good stuff that's gone on this year and throughout the years past. So really appreciate everybody's efforts and everything that this entire school does for kids in this community, including my own when it came through. On that note, going into athletics, and I'll put on my glasses so that I can see my own notes. Our softball and baseball teams ended their season this past Thursday. Both teams finished with the win, so that's good. Our softball coaches, Jenna McCormick and Brianna Barksdale, and the baseball coaches, Drew Guay and Brandon Pike, all expressed at various times, and obviously at the end of the season as well, how proud they were of their players, how excited they were with the amount of improvement, and just watching confidence build in kids over the course of the season as well. And I want to personally thank those coaches for all their hard work and their encouragement in working with all of our student athletes. They did a great job. Track and field is still going. They finished their regular season at Prospect Mountain High School last Wednesday. And throughout the course of the season, athletes are trying to qualify for the bigger state meet. So we had 12 PES athletes qualify for the Lakes Region Championship meet. That's going to be held tomorrow at Winnisquam High School. 10 of those 12 students are choosing to compete. I won't go into every single event that they qualified for, but just to let you know a couple. Students that qualified in one event and will be competing are Caleb Teelbar, Sagan Kane, Dennis Clare, Libby Oldenburg, and Abigail Krangle. And then we had qualifiers in 2 events, and they will be competing: Marcy Moon, Elizabeth Sunderland, Riley Mask, and Ayla Ahern. And also very impressive, and we saw a quick clip of her in the video, Josie Hankins will be competing in 3 events that she qualified for: the 400 meter, the 800 meter, and the 1600 meter. I did want to mention her jumping into 3. She's got a busy afternoon tomorrow. We wish them all the best of luck. And again, thanking those coaches, that's John Ramsey, Nancy Stock, Tammy Carpentier, and Andy Hamill, who did the video. They always do a great job working with the athletes, a variety of different events to teach, skills to learn and know, and they do it all while having some fun along the way. Moving on to fall sports, I began signups last week and will continue again tomorrow and Wednesday. We already have permission slips coming in. I just pulled a bunch of them out of my mailbox. So that's great. We like to try to get as many in as we can before the school year ends. The fall team event schedules are already posted on the PES website, along with all of the preseason practice dates and times, and just general information for each sport. that could be helpful to the kids and parents. If you are looking for summer camp information is also posted. That includes a lot of what the high school teams and coaching staff are offering throughout the summer, some of the PSU camps, even something over at Holderness Prep School. So those are there too. We will be holding physicals again in September, on September 16th, 8:30 to 11:30, with the help of Plymouth Pediatrics, and that will be done right here in our nurse's office. And at this point, our fall coaching staffs are almost complete. We're looking for one more cross-country coach, and due to the numbers, which we are already seeing in our 5-6 soccer team, we are going to add a head coach position there for that group. Historically, that has been a large group, and they are in need of a coach of their own. So we hope to have all of that secured and ready to go before the end of the school year, but if not, I'm sure that that will happen fairly quickly over the summer. Safety. All required safety drills have been completed, with our final drill taking place back on May 7th. Our annual building fire and safety inspection was completed in May by the Plymouth Fire Department, and we did great there. Many thanks to, I want to say, the Plymouth Regional teacher, Jay Fogarty, and the PRHS architecture students who worked on a collaborative project here with PES to create an updated building plan map. That is something that we use in the classroom safety folders, in our emergency operations plan, and that is also shared with our local police and fire departments so that they have the layout of our building. And we needed to update that due to some of the recent reconfigurations and changes that we did here in the building last year, and again a little bit this summer. Safety committee members will be working to complete another FEMA course over the summer. They will also be assisting Officer Jill Bonin to complete the yearly summer update of all the classroom safety binders. We collect those at the end of every year. Usually it's me powering through all of them and revising them, but Jill will be doing that and hopefully grabbing a couple of those safety members to help her out. And I would like to thank everyone on the safety committee and the entire faculty and staff here and our students that consistently work together to create a safe environment here at PES, and everybody does a great job. And that is it from me.
Kelly, thanks very much for that.
Yeah.
Going back to the soccer position, you mentioned a new head coach position.
Yeah.
Can you give a little bit more on that, please?
So currently we have 2.5 coaching positions out there for soccer. So we have a head boys 7-8, a head girls 7-8 coach, and then there's an assistant position. 5-6 soccer has never had a head coach position there. And historically, we have had 30 plus kids, on that team. We do have a head coach for 5-6 boys basketball, a head coach for 5-6 girls basketball. So I'm not sure why we never did for 5-6 soccer. But over the years, I've done the athletics for 7 years, and we've just watched it grow and grow. So it gets really difficult when it's the 2 head coaches and 1 assistant trying to coach 3 different teams, and they're all down on the practice field together at the same time. That won't change. We have the space. We have this, what we work with. We also share with the high school too. So, everybody works carefully, and we're all aware of each other's schedules just to try to balance it out. But when one team has an away game, if the 5-6 team has an away game, one of those coaches is jumping on the bus, and it's usually 2 of them, which leaves 1 coach here to try to run a practice, for 40 plus kids. So really having a true dedicated titled coach for that 5-6 position will be a big help.
So that means going forward, there'll be 4 coaches, there'll be 3 head coaches and then an assistant.
Correct. And I would foresee that the coach that's doing the 5-6 is, they do the 3 of them right now, I'm holding up 4 and saying 3, work really well with each other. But it's a hard balance with that many kids down there. And I think having that extra person, and then if 2 of them are going on to a bus, whether it's 7-8 games or 5-6, then there's 2 that can stay and run a practice. It just makes things much easier, I think.
And safer.
And we added a coach last year as well. not a head coach, but we did add a coach for one of the sports, didn't we? That was getting big, no?
No, not for soccer.
Not for soccer.
I thought one of them was.
I think in the fall? No. Football, volleyball.
And 5-6 soccer, is that co-ed?
Yes,
Mhm.
yes. So, I mean, I've already had 2 days of signups that I did last week, and I already have 2.5 pages full of kids' names just for 5-6 soccer. And I have 2 more days of signups to do.
And what's the difference between, I know conceptually the difference between a head coach and an assistant coach,
Mhm.
but is there
There's a monetary,
what's the
there's a
difference?
monetary.
Yeah.
It's a monetary difference? Is there
I
a
don't-
time difference or is it?
There hasn't been because they've all been down there working together. You know, it's been taking them all to handle all the kids that are down there on the field.
Got it, okay, thank you.
My experience was that it was also a leadership difference. So,
Well, yes, technically,
Sure.
usually
Oh,
in
yes,
any
Yes.
coaching position, your head coach is the one that's
Make-
right setting the standard and running the practice, and your
and often
assistants are
doing the
helping out.
laundry. I just want
I know. I didn't
I just
know.
want to add that.
I didn't know.
So I'm doing the laundry maybe, or.
Oh, yeah, no, that would be me.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Does anyone else have any other questions? Thank you very much. Privilege of floor number 1. All right. All right, discussion items, end of the year, budget closeout.
Sure, so I have Dan here to kind of walk you through the end of the year, close out with the budget based on what you have left, what goes into the capital reserve, anything you want to do with the retained fund balance as we move forward. So Dan.
Thank you. So as we approach year end and after the bills that were paid in tonight's manifest, we're currently projecting a fund balance at year end of approximately $215,000. The first $50,000 of any funds remaining would go into the capital reserve as was voted in March. And assuming these numbers play out, that will leave a unreserved fund balance of $165,000 and change. There'll be some minor fluctuations over the next 30 days. Just as a recap, last year you retained $319,839. That money is still in the retained fund balance for the school. I project the capacity, that's a function, the amount allowed to be retained is a function of the amount assessed in the fall tax rate. So I believe that that number for this year will grow, the capacity of which you could retain will grow by about $34,000 to $353,000. So if you chose to move forward with retaining the maximum amount possible, as you have done the last few years since you were granted that authority, I estimate that an additional $34,000 would be retained, bringing your retained balance to $353,000 and bringing down the unreserved fund balance to about $130,000. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I can go into,
Does this include what we approved?
yes, it does. This is
So that's already taken out?
correct. Those funds have been encumbered for the projects that you identified.
So I always like to retain as much as we can personally, because we don't know what's gonna happen in the future. So I always like to have a safety net, because historically, we've not ever had a safety net. When I was first on the board, we had $40 left over at the end of the year. So I'm always grateful to have as much retain as much as we possibly can, and then, give back whatever. That would be my recommendation as a board chair, to retain as much as we can, the maximum amount. So, if that, if you're on agreement with that, we would have to have someone make a motion for that.
I'm generally in favor of that.
Yeah.
Dan, can you remind us about the 130, the unreserved
Yeah.
balance, what happens to that?
Sure, that becomes, so the misnomer sometimes in conversations is that it's given back to the town, and it's never really, there's never a check written to the town. What it is it's considered a revenue, and thereby, in the following year, thereby reducing the amount to be raised to support next year's budget that was approved in March. So, all else being equal, there'd be $130,000 left to be raised through local taxation in the fall. If, for whatever that number winds up being, the unreserved fund balance is considered a revenue next year.
So it benefits the
The DRA
taxpayers.
calculates
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
assessment
yeah.
and the tax rate.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
That's helpful. I mean, it seems like we can both benefit the school by retaining the maximum amount and then benefiting the taxpayer with the remaining. Yeah. I'm in favor of that, for my part.
Would you like to make a motion, Sam?
I would love to make a motion. I make a motion to accept.
Okay.
I second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tim,
Sure.
for all your hard work, Tim.
My pleasure.
You don't have to. No need, thank you, I appreciate it. Next, we have a policy, if you're okay with moving on, Madam Chair.
Yes, I am.
And it's to update the homeless policy and unaccompanied youth policy. We just had an audit around grant funds, and that's one of the policies that came back that needed to be updated. So here it is. This is based on the current language that's required.
Is there any highlights that you?
No, I mean, the biggest piece is, you know, the only moving part for districts is the transportation as far as the financial impact.
Yeah.
Usually split between the two districts. The children that are homeless can enroll without all of their paperwork. There's a few exemptions, obviously. For that, you don't really have to worry about the unaccompanied youth. That's usually our high school kids that are couch surfing and staying with other families in need. But it just outlines the process as far as where they can get resources. We have a homeless liaison in this building here. Dana Andrews serves as the SAU homeless liaison. So we have a very solid process as far as that goes. Why it's tied to our funding from the grant is there's set aside money for homeless. So we can help with gas for transportation sometimes if a parent is transporting them, also with clothing. We get federal funds to help with that as well. So that's why it's connected to the federal audit.
And this is an updated policy?
It's just updated, you already have one in place.
That's what I thought. Okay.
And this is our first reading, right, so we don't make a motion tonight?
You don't have to make a motion tonight if you're not comfortable, no.
Oh.
If you did, it would be great, because then I can check it off the audit list.
My understanding is that if a student walks in the door,
Mhm.
they have to be accepted immediately. Is that the case?
If they're determined to be homeless, yep.
And what if they are not homeless?
There's a whole different.
Then we take care of that as well.
If
So
they
there
have to be
has been-
determined to be residents.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but if somebody walks in the door, they must be taken immediately.
If they're homeless, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep.
So no kind of advance notice for the,
No, because
Yeah.
most of the time they
There we
don't
go.
have records that follow, all of them have to be located. So it's detrimental to the kid not to be in school, so we
Yeah.
But
do
there's
let
a
them in.
whole thing here as far as a dispute.
Yep.
Right.
And we've had disputes, you know, it's definitely sometimes a tool, unfortunately, that some families use to try to pick the school they want to go to. But
Sure.
Officer Bonin helps with that, the school resource officer, where we visited houses before to make sure they're in the right town, or we visited tent sites or campgrounds and stuff like that as well.
Oh, I recall.
Yeah.
And is it still the case that a student of two parents residing in two different locations can choose which school they want to go to?
Yeah, so outside of this policy, it used to be that wherever, so we're talking divorced families or two parents that live in separate places. It used to be that they had to, wherever they were laying their head on more than 50% of the time is where they would go to school. Now there's no rule about that. It's,
Okay.
they pick either where the mother lives or where the father lives. They're only with the mother on the weekends and they want to go to that school, they can go to that school where the mother is.
Okay.
So.
Thank you.
Kyle, I'm sorry if I missed this at the outset. So this is potentially replacing a policy that we already have in place.
Yeah, it's just updating the language, yep.
And can you, the updated language is in the the transportation section? Is that-
No, so so there's some additions to the dispute resolution as well. So the New Hampshire State Coordinator, and then there is some other little pieces as far as the petition and appeal process, so just more specific. It's actually very easy to follow at this point.
And this is not, or what's the driver behind this? This is so that we remain eligible for grant funding?
Yeah, it was part of it was caught as part of our monitoring. So the policy was outdated, and so that's one of the actions to get it updated by the board.
Okay. I would be in favor of passing, of approving it rather than deferring.
I'm fine with it.
Someone wanna make a motion?
I move that we accept this, what's it called?
Homeless policy.
Homeless policy.
As written.
Alright, second.
Admission.
Perfect. Alright, all in favor?
Aye.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Alright, and then other business, you wanna talk about the August meeting date?
Sure, so we have our retreat the first Monday, so I was hoping to either have it on the 11th or the 18th. And typically we have our August meeting a little bit earlier, but unless, all of you have work.
So I'm out of town on the first 2 weeks.
so why don't can we do the 18th?
I could do the 18th, which is how much time before school starts though?
Teacher,
About a week and a half, yeah.
teacher days that week, right?
That teacher day is that
Teacher
week.
days are that week.
Okay,
So
so
move instead of the 4th, at the 18th.
18th, yeah.
does that,
Does that work for everybody?
I could make the
What time?
I was
You
thinking,
didn't want the 4th, right?
I'm not here on the 4th.
Okay.
The administrators are not here on the 4th.
what time? We can make it at whatever time is convenient, really, because it's,
Do you have a time?
is there time?
I just have something in the morning.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
It won't be until evening, it'll be
Okay.
more like 5 or 6 o'clock, like.
Okay.
Does-
So if you wanna do
we-
it at 6.
We usually do it earlier in the
Yeah.
summer so people can get at it. It's usually a beautiful day,
It is
so people are like not wanting to come.
Always a
Do
beautiful.
you
Yeah.
wanna do it at 5?
At 4 or 5, I was thinking, but I don't know what everybody's work schedules look like or
4
schedules.
isn't great, cause I work till 4:30.
How about 5?
So 5 PM.
Does 5 work for everybody?
Does that
That works for me,
work?
5
Okay.
o'clock.
Okay.
January
Great.
3rd, so.
I can do whatever.
Fran, are you in town?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, so August 18th at 5 PM will be our,
And nothing in July.
Nothing in July, no.
unless you wanna just hang out.
So the August would be the 18th, and then will we still have one September 1st?
We will,
Okay.
because
Okay.
school would have been started, and even if it's short, it just kind of syncs up all the manifests and stuff like
Okay.
that as well.
September 1st, so Labor Day.
Labor Day,
So,
so.
So,
September 8th?
good catch.
Yeah,
So we can do
what's the following?
September 8th.
Okay.
That would be your first one.
Okay,
Perfect.
super, thanks.
And that would be at 6.
6 o'clock
Yeah.
for September 8th, yeah. Fantastic.
The only other piece I was gonna ask is if you're okay with me moving forward with any hiring over the summer. We're pretty good right now for faculty, we'd just be paraprofessionals at this point, so.
Yes.
I was just gonna ask for the
Please.
authority to do that, please.
so with the paras, but if something happens with a teacher,
Teacher,
we're good.
we're all staffed at this point,
Okay.
yeah.
So yes, I
Yeah.
would support you making that decision.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. All right, privilege of the floor number 2. Yes, oh my God, thanks for asking a question.
To ask a question, I was just going to thank Tanya and Kelly for all the years of service and formally recognize that we appreciate all that they've done over the last few years.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely, thank you. Thank you very much. All right, everybody signed the manifest, fantastic, so we just need a motion to go into non-public.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor, public?
Aye.